Untitled Chapter.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody out there is ready to get some laughs and get back to the weekly quarantine quality comedy time with me. I'm going to be your host, Quincy Carr. I've been doing this every week since April, and each week is growing, it's getting better. Click share and leave comments and also ask questions. We got another heavy hitter on the show today, Miss Alycia Cooper. She is very decorated as a comedian, not just a female comedian, but just a comedian. So very blessed to have her on here. Been knowing her for a long time. So if you missed last week's show or any past shows, you can always go to my website, quincycarr.com, and you can check out any of my previous shows. And it's just a lot of fun, okay? I sure miss being on cruise ships. I sure miss performing in front of a live audience, but that's why I created this show here. So me, not just me, but the other creatives and comics out there where we can't do what we normally do to just relieve stress. We can't do those things. So this is what helps us relieve stress, and we still get a chance to, in a sense, perform for an audience, okay? Cool. So before I introduce the next comic, I need you guys to check out this clip right here.
They said R. Kelly was supposed to be a pedophile, right? So I said, I'm going to pay attention to the lyrics, because if that's the case, it will come out in the lyrics. Turn the channel. I hear a song by him that says, my mind's telling me no. I'm like, his mind is telling him no because she's 12. Then he was in court acting like he didn't know the girl was underage, but he had to know because when she walked in the courtroom, her shoes lit up.
Yo, she is hilarious. Today's guest, she's originally from Maryland. She's also a writer, director, producer. She's got guest appearances a mile and a half long with performances and feature roles on networks like BET, True TV, NBC, just to name a few, including a role in the blockbuster hit Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I didn't even know that, right? So her comedy albums can be heard on SiriusXM Radio, like the Welcome to the Show, my homegirl Alycia Cooper. What's going on, Alycia?
Hey, how you doing?
Hold on, let's unmute you. There we go. Hey,
can you hear me? Everything's good. Oh, yeah. How are you, Quincy?
I am blessed. I am happy to just continue to talk with some of my friends here in the industry, because I know we all going through it together. Ain't that right?
And that is absolutely right. I done made $10 since March.
You already started up. You done made $10 since March. You know, the fact that we are all in quarantine dealing with when our opportunities will open up again. Like, do you have any funny stories or anything that's happened to you over these last 4 months or so? Because you're out there in LA, so I know you see craziness, right?
Yeah, but you know what? I've really been trying to quarantine. You know, I'm over 40. You know, I got about 20 comorbidities. You know, I can't be out there getting killed because somebody want to sneeze on me. Now I got to be swinging. I'm on a viral video. It ain't pretty. I got cuffs on. You know, so what I do is
talk about what are the cuffs doing on, Alycia?
Because I done smacked somebody grandmama for acting like a 2-year-old. Did you see the video of the old lady who sat down in the Costco because she didn't want to put a mask on, like she was 19 months old? Look, knowing she's 9,000 months old, and this broad done sat down in the middle of the floor. I said, tase her ass. Tase her old ass.
Look, so what the one thing that we are going to, of course, see is so many videos and so many things is going to give us so much new material. Like, is there anything specific that has happened to you during this time?
Anything specific that's happened to me? You know
that you know it's going to be comedy.
You know, it's not any. I don't really think that much stuff has happened to me. One, I'm never around for the craziness. I look at the people. I'm like, these people. I'm never around when these people going ham. You know, so I miss out on all the good stuff. I just been going to the grocery store and back home. Like, I really tried to limit. You know, I haven't been doing much social anything because you don't know what's going on with this virus. They don't even know. Some people have no symptoms. Other people dead in 48 hours. So it's no rhyme or reason to what's going on. So I don't know which category I'll be in. So I haven't, the craziness I've seen has been online. And I look at these people talking, I can't breathe. I'm in the store. Unless you got a carrying one of them breathing things, rolling them behind you and got the thing under your nose. I don't want to see that you can't breathe.
Yeah,
you breathing real well while you cussing everybody out and fussing about wearing this mask. And you complain over this little piece of cloth, but when you had that Klan hood on, you was breathing just fine.
When you had the Klan hood, yeah, I can tell that you were fired up. Like my wife and I, we went to this place. I think it's called the Shake Shack or something. Mm-hmm. And we walk in there. She forgot her mask in the vehicle, right? Mm-hmm. And so we walk in there, and the guy sees her. White guy manager is like immediately, no, you can't be in here. And she said, well, I'm just gonna place order. I'm not trying to come in here to sit. He's like, yeah, but you just can't be it. And so, just calmly, as we've always known to be in most cases, she just listens. Okay, I'll go wait in the car, right? Mm-hmm. So I went there, placed my order with my mask on. A couple, 3 white folks come in. They look like it was a husband, wife, and one of their mothers. Okay, mm-hmm. The mother's old, right? Mm-hmm. She don't have no tank with her or nothing. Mm-hmm. The guy sees her; she has no mask on. Mm-hmm. They have the mask on. Mm-hmm. He don't say anything to her. He says absolutely nothing to her, and then she looks at him and says, does she have to have a mask on? All we're gonna do is just sit over here." And the guy's like, no, she's fine. This is before she actually says, okay, because she can't, she can't breathe with a mask on. And I'm like, he gave this woman the benefit of the doubt, but as soon as he seen my wife with the natural hair and everything, mm-hmm. No, ma'am, you can't be in there. So,
yeah. I mean, but if your wife had a perm, he'd have let her in. What did Paul Mooney say? When the hair is relaxed, white people relax. He should have came back in with a perm wig. He'd have took her right to the back. But there's a video. Did you see the video? This was in Maryland, where this mother and her young son, a little boy about 8, he had on he had a cute little outfit, little shorts and a shirt and some little Jordans. And they told her that her son couldn't come in because he didn't have on the right attire. She looked out on the patio and saw a little white boy with the exact clothes on that the little black boy had on. And he was able to eat and everything. And she said, but he. They was like, no, Negro. And I said, oh, this is ridiculous. Like, they're not even trying to fake the funk. Now, he's been fired.
Yes.
And they always get fired. So I'm like, as soon as you telling this lady something, you see that she got the video and point to this little boy. Either you see her or you go get your stuff out the break room because you about to get fired.
Look, it's so blatant, and yet we still have, some of our white associates and counterparts. They still feel like I don't understand what discrimination you're talking about because I don't see it, and everywhere I go, and it's like it is so blatant. Had it not been for videos on a lot of things, then it would still be passed off, and it's almost like we all who look like us can't have the same exact story. That's like the Nintendo story, right? So if you if you lived back in the 80s when Nintendo was out and there was no internet, there was no way to share things across the nation, what did you have to do if the game didn't play? You took the cartridge out
and blew into it.
Right. We all know that. Right. But we never were in contact with each other. So it's like, how can we all have the same experiences and stories and it just don't add up to discrimination?
Right. But my thing is, you shouldn't need a videotape. First of all, we all know anytime you see a cop writing on a police report, that thing is a lie. They know how to lie on that daggone police report. You like, well, we're at the same scene? Because this was nothing like what really went down. They lie on these police reports. They know exactly what to say. I was in fear of my life. It could be a 2-year-old in a diaper with a popsicle. And they say, I was in fear of my life. It don't even have to make any sense. So they know exactly the words to say to be able to commit the most heinous crimes. They've been getting away with it. But we showed America this with the Rodney King beat. Luckily, this man was over his balcony with his VHS recorder, and he recorded that Rodney King beating. And what we were saying was, okay, it'll stop now in 1992 because y'all finally get to see what we've been saying. They was like, nah, he was drunk. If he was drunk, you really ain't need to beat him. He really wasn't a threat drunk.
Because he wasn't gonna do nothing but just lay down and go to sleep.
How many people ever really been scared of a drunk? You just do like this to a drunk, and they just topple over. You ain't got to be killing no drunk.
Right,
They
right.
they act like we superhuman, like we can be drunk and Schwarzenegger at the same time. The two don't go together.
Right,
You know,
yeah, I remember them saying, yeah, he's on PCP and heroin, and it's like, come on, people. So you know, it's so much new material, it's so many things in this comics. I know that is our job to take tragedies and sadness, even in our own world of sadness, right? Because every comic, you know, just because we make people laugh don't mean we happy. Look what happened to Robin Williams and all those other comics who committed suicide. So I know you've been in the game, sister. You've been in the game for a long time. Now, where exactly in Maryland are you from?
I'm from Temple Hills.
Temple Hills, Maryland, right? So, and where exactly is that nearby?
That's 5 minutes from DC and 5 minutes from Alexandria, Virginia. So we're like right in that little line. So we're close to a lot of stuff, and about 50 minutes outside of Baltimore.
Okay, and that's interesting because you know you have a southern twang about you. I wonder if anybody ever told you that. It's like Maryland ain't country.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Southern Maryland.
From the south of Maryland, I hear you, because you know, like some people said, Chappelle kind of had the same twang as like a DC person has that. You know, I don't know, man. So you know, that's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
He does.
But you've been in the business for a long time. Since when?
I started in October 2000, so it's about to be 20 years this October.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot, you started the year after I started, nigga. I started in the late 1900s, 1999. Yeah, but you know, and I think me and you met, oh gosh, I cannot remember what year, but I know it must have been after 05. You were at the Comedy Zone in Norfolk here on Waterside. Like it was a Comedy Zone in Norfolk. And then I met you again. I ran into you again at the Funny Bone, at the Virginia Beach Funny Bone.
Virginia Beach Funny Bone.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and it wasn't too long after that because I think you were kind of in between living in LA but moving back to you know where you were closer. Yeah, where I can afford to bring you to the show that I actually had. Because I brought you to two of my shows.
Yeah, the Virginia Beach. I drove right on up.
Yeah. So was that your first time doing my style of comedy where it was all clean or all fun, no filth? Because I brought you twice.
Yeah, no, it actually wasn't. What happened was when I decided that, because I used to work in television production, I used to produce different TV shows. And when I decided that I wanted to do comedy, because I would go to work at 12-hour days in production, and then I would go to the comedy club at night. But it was just a creative outlet. I never thought of it as a job. I didn't need the money because I had a good job. So it was just fun for me. And then when it stopped being fun, the job stopped being fun. I said, well, let me give this a shot full time. But what I decided to do early on was talk to the comedians that were doing this at a very high level and ask them, try to pick their brain. So I went to Cheryl Underwood and I said, Cheryl, I'm just starting to do comedy. I'm like 6 months in. And what advice do you have for a new comedian? She said, do not go blue. She said, start out clean and then you can go blue later. She said, but if you start out blue, you'll never be able to get that title from around your neck. And she said, it's wrapped around my neck. She said, so, she said, start out as a clean comic and then you can do more after that. But don't start out blue because they'll put you in that blue category. So I wrote all my material clean for years. As I got older and I got more irritated, you got that old angry aunt. As I started getting older, becoming an old angry aunt, I started cussing. So but my jokes didn't rely on the cussing. It wasn't the punchline. I cussed for emphasis.
Absolutely.
So, but my first few years, I purposely didn't write in what they would consider anything blue because of that advice. I asked Monique, I said, what advice would you have for a new comedian? And she said, get half of your money up front and the other half before you open your mouth.
and that is where many of us, me included, have gone wrong in the past. Because ain't nothing like doing a show and then it wasn't your fault that they didn't promote the show. You did your part. You had them 15 people in a 200-seater club laughing, and they come to you, hey, look, so this is what's happening.
Let me tell you.
Okay. Look, we don't have, as you can see, This is how it was. So we gonna give you this, but look, we gonna bring you back though. Be like, no. Where is my money all the way? Like I remember I got a chance to work with Kevin Hart, and this was back in 2007. This is right before he dropped his first comedy special, Grown Little Man. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we worked in Petersburg, Virginia. And I remember, and he was rolling dolo, like he didn't need a team of people back then. And we were performing, and he says, man, the biggest thing, because I done heard about this dude at this club. I said, you got to give me all my money up front. And the guy was trying to give him half. He said, no. I done heard about you. I want all my money up front. And before I tell one joke. So the advice, Monique is from Maryland too. Is that correct?
She's from Baltimore. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So you've gotten some good. Wow. And these are two of the queens of comedy, right?
Well, Cheryl wasn't in the Queens of Comedy, but she was making good money since Def Jam.
Yeah. So once you started hitting the stages, and then you started to grow, you eventually moved out to LA, right? Because that's what they tell everybody: either go to LA, Atlanta.
No. When I moved to LA, in 1998. I wasn't even doing comedy when I moved to LA.
Oh wow!
I went to LA and I was producing talk shows. I worked on Magic Johnson's late night talk show, and I worked a Dr. Phil show. I worked on a bunch of shows out in LA.
Okay, so that's.
I didn't start doing comedy till I seriously. I tried it in Maryland, but I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
So, I didn't know that people were writing jokes and coming up with an act. I thought they were just jumping on stage, running off at the mouth, because that's how easy they made it look.
Right.
What you didn't know when you're watching Def Jam is there's a lot of people who crashed and burned in Def Jam, and they just didn't air their set. We think everybody just jumping up, just doing it like we did on the school bus. So I thought I could do it too. And I was crashing and burning. I ain't had no jokes. I'm just saying stuff off the top of my head. And they weren't booing me, but they were silent.
That's the worst situation, when they are silent, because you at least need to boo to respond. Man, you better be quiet up there booing me. But when they silent, your reply is after your punchline. And the next thing I know, the street was all red.
Yeah, you're right. The silence is the worst.
Yeah, it's crazy out here, Wes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Look, you're like, please boo me, so we can know there's some life in this room. So I just didn't know what I was doing, so I wasn't doing it. Then when I got back to LA and I was working, it's a long story about how I started back up again. But one of the girls, I was working on a show on BET called O Drama. It was Kim Whitley, Vanessa Bell Calloway, and Mari Morrow. We were producing shows for that talk show. And one of the other producers said to me, she said, Friday, I'm doing a show called The Next Big Thing. I'm going to have 2 comics, 2 singers, and 2 rappers. And she said, I have you booked as one of the comics. I said, I don't do comedy anymore. I tried it. It didn't work out. She said, well, you're the funniest person in the office. I was like, well, how hard is that to be? So she was like, you're booked. I said, oh, man. So I went and got a book so I could learn the structure of how to write a joke.
Okay.
And then I wrote a couple minutes. I went to the Ha Ha Cafe in North Hollywood and asked if I could go first. And when you're new and you're waiting for the MC to give you that mic, and they keep going, and I had sweating rings under my arms waiting to get the mic in my hand. I was just giving it to my mic. So I got out there and I did my little 5 minutes, and some of it worked, some of it didn't, but at least I heard it come out of my mouth for the first time, because I'm getting ready to go on national TV in a couple of days.
Right.
So I kept some of the stuff, added a couple more things, and then I went and did the show and had a good critique from the judges. And then I said, oh, okay, well, maybe there's something here. And then I kept doing it at night.
Okay. And I mean, like, everybody's path is definitely different. I know I definitely had a different path. I came up in a mainstream comedy club. So, I struggled probably for the first 4 or 5 years in how to present just as good to a mainstream audience, which was predominantly white, but it still had some black folks in it, but it was predominantly white. I struggled to go to that urban style audience. And the one thing that I know I was told was obviously clean, because I was never considered dirty, but, people would, see me as a clean person, the way I dressed and how I presented myself on stage. And the advice that I got was, make sure that you don't disrespect your audience. Make sure that you don't come out there and you don't read the audience and say, oh, all they want to hear is raw, so I'm not going to give them any educated type of stuff. And that's one of the worst things that comics can do. So whether you're ready or not, that's good advice that you gave earlier about, don't start writing blue, meaning don't have all the curse words. But you've grown, you 6 comedy albums, Alycia. 6 comedy albums that you have, and they've been featured on iTunes and satellite radio. So you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I really lucked up with that whole thing because the satellite radio thing has really kept me afloat. Because what happened was, I was doing my comedy. I was, enjoying where I was in my comedy journey. Where I could say whatever it was I wanted to say. The best thing about comedy is there's no human resources department. You can go in there drinking, cussing, smoking. You can do whatever you want to, and nothing's going to happen to you. So, there's nothing corporate about being a comedian. So, I was enjoying where I was. I didn't have any bosses. I didn't have anybody telling me what I had to do or what I couldn't say. And it was, so I was really getting used to that. And then I was talking to Joe Recker. Remember Joe who passed away?
Oh, may he rest in peace. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my best male friend. So if Joe and I probably talk every other day. So Joe told me that he had talked to this comic named Greg Warren. You know Greg Warren?
Yep.
And Greg had gotten a comedy album on satellite radio. And so Joe said, yeah, I'm going to do one of them because Greg said the money pretty good and blah, 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 blah. And I said, oh, okay. He said, but the thing is, he said, it'll work out good for me because I'm a clean comic. I do a bunch of churches. He said, but the whole album has to be completely clean. I said, yeah, I don't know. I said, I don't really want no stipulation. I don't want to have to think about what I'm saying. I just want to go out and be me. I said, yeah, I'm going to skip that. So 3 months went by and Joe called and he said, Greg said he got $6,000. And I said, what?
Get out the brooms.
I said, but for 1 month? I said, oh, all right, well, let me rethink this clean album thing. So I started putting all my clean bits together in a row and trying to see how much time I could come up with. And then I called the company that did Joe and Greg, and I said, can I do some political material? Because if I'm allowed to do political material, I'll have the time. So they said, well, let us call and ask. And they said, yeah, as long as it isn't too mean-spirited towards a political candidate.
Gotcha.
I said, well, the thing about mine is I talk about everybody evenly. I was talking about Donald Trump. Because they were all running at the time. I talked about Hillary. I talked about Bernie Sanders. So I liked everybody. So it wasn't like I had a political leaning. I was just going down the line on everybody. And so they approved it. And so I did the album, and it paid off. It paid off. And so I said, you know what, and so I just did another one that just came out in, I think, May of this year.
It's called Popcorn Box Wine. Yeah.
So that's the second one on. So getting into the satellite radio market has it keeps you afloat. Like you don't feel desperate. I'm not desperate to run around for work. If I don't get something, I'm not that upset because my bills are paid. And now I just spend a lot of time writing, and I'm writing my own films because I'm moving over into directing. And when you're a brand new director and a brand new female director and a brand new Black female director, you're not gonna get offered nothing to direct. So you better write your own stuff and do it yourself. So now I've just written my second short film, and we're shooting it on July 19th.
Awesome. And we'll definitely get into your current project that's out a little bit later. And that's good. Just a role model for other women and especially other Black women. Because the one thing that I know you ladies have to understand in life, right, especially in this world that we live in, is that the odds are stacked against you because you're a woman. But then when you're a Black woman, the odds are really stacked against you. And then when you're a Black woman who doesn't conform to, like you said, the perms and all these other things, and that was like, ooh, she gonna have the attitude. So I really got to stay away from her. So kudos go out to you for what you've done. But I want to talk about when you got on Last Comic Standing. All right. So I can't remember what season it was. I think it was our Alonzo Bowden was one of the judges. As a matter of fact, Yeah, I know we got some B-roll here, but Alonzo Bowden was one of the judges.
Oh, yeah, that
And
was the first time I was on Last Comic Standing. This was like
okay.
about 2003, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Alonzo,
2003.
Kathleen Madigan, and Ant.
Got you. Now you got on there. You got a shot on that show because I know it ran for like at a certain point it just got a little redundant with the comics. But you got on season 3 or 2?
That was an audition for, I believe, 2 or 3.
2 or 3. Got you.
It was early on.
Got you. So explain this because I got a clip, so your mic is going to be muted. But explain what happened here.
Dating the homeless again. It's the same.
She's great. I have more stuff. Y'all just won't give me an hour. But
Let me tell you something. If you come back tonight for the callback, you better bring it.
okay,
If not, it's on Kathleen.
consider it brought. I think Ant's toupee is on a little too tight today. I have absolutely no idea what just happened in there. The whole time was a blur for me, but I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. So what happened?
Oh my goodness, this was so long ago. Well, the bottom line is with reality television, they have to produce drama. So everybody can't give you compliments and everybody can't dog you out. There's always going to be one Simon Cowell, and Ant was the Simon Cowell on that particular day. So, he didn't care for one of my bits. He felt like he had heard, he felt like at that point, telling a homeless joke he felt like it was hacky, and maybe it was. But the thing about the show is what are you funny with what you're saying? That's why it's called Last Comic Standing. It's not called Last Genius Standing. So Kathleen enjoyed what I did. Alonzo seemed to be smiling. But years later, about 3 years ago, I did it again with Keenen Ivory Wayans, Roseanne, and the guy that y'all know him.
It wasn't Jeff Foxworthy.
No, it wasn't Jeff Foxworthy. It was the guy that Norm Macdonald.
Okay, right.
Those were the three hosts that year. We did it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. We did it again last time.
Yeah, because my man Ambrose Jones was on that season, and that's the one that
the winner was the guy of Atlanta.
Clayton English.
Clayton English won that year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that year too, and Roseanne called me brilliant, and they did not air Roseanne calling me brilliant.
Right, because then she messed up. You're right, because then she messed up on her show and said the thing that she said about, I guess, about either black folks or said something.
Oh, yeah,
and
it was talking about the political lady. She said something about Valerie Jarrett and Planet of the Apes, but that was like 2 or 3 years after that show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they say, what, we ain't gonna put that on here.
Yeah, no, they cut out her calling me brilliant. Let me tell you something. If they had aired Roseanne calling me brilliant, my whole career would be in a different place right now.
Wow. And isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy that for validation, all right, and it's not just comedians, but any entertainer, right? For validation, it could take one thing said, good and bad, and that takes our career in a completely different direction, right?
Yeah. We've seen comedians. Remember that roast that Jamie Foxx roasted that one comic?
Yes.
Well, there was no coming back from that.
Doug Williams.
Yeah, it's hard to come back from that. I'm like, whoa, Lord. So yeah. So one thing can derail you, and one thing can catapult you.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of catapult, we're gonna take a quick break with you, but we're gonna come back and get into a couple of more subjects here, and also talk about your films and things that you're doing. So if you don't mind, we'll drop you in the backstage, and then we'll be right back with more with Alycia Cooper, folks. All right. So, people, first of all, I don't know if y'all can see, I got my Perfect Human shirt on. If you are not a fan of judging people or of not judging people, then don't get the shirt. But if you are a fan of not judging people, it's called I Strive to Be Perfect, but End Up Being Human. Okay. So it's one of my shirts that I sell. I have a couple of different colors, but I also have wristbands. So it's just my way of keeping the world as positive as I can when I'm on stage performing, just to let folks know that, hey, look, you're human, I'm human. The main thing that we will do is make a mistake. So if you guys are interested, just drop a line in the comments. Don't forget, continue to comment. And if you have a question for Alycia, ask Alycia a question. Let her answer it. If you got a question for me, I'll answer it as well. We're getting ready to do some quarantine cash here in a little bit, so y'all continue to stay on. And big shout out again. Let me pull them back up. Well, no, I'm not gonna pull them back up, but to my sponsors of the Quality Comedy Series. I can't do my live show that I do every month at Dave & Buster's because quarantine and COVID-19, right? So that's why this show was created. But I usually do a live show 8 times a year at the Virginia Beach Dave & Buster's, and I'm getting ready to expand it to other Dave & Buster's here nationally. So the only thing that slowed that down is COVID-19. So once everything opens back up, then we'll get back to the process of expanding. But those sponsors that sponsor for the whole year before COVID-19 hit, Angels Place Daycare Center, they're right here in the Norfolk Hampton Roads area. So if you're in the Hampton Roads area, all you got to do is just mention that you can look them up on Facebook, Angels Place Daycare Center. What they will do is give you $50 off each of the first 4 months just because you mentioned my show, anything with quality comedy in it, or Quincy Carr. Okay. The next is Melinda Milak at Just Dance On for your ballroom and dance needs. You can find her at justdanceon.com. And then today's show sponsor, it's a big sponsor too. It's TGX Live. It is a streaming platform, and they stream content all over, whether you're a musician, whether you're a comedian. And we made a partnership where my comedy special is finally going to be on their streaming platform, and it's going to be pay-per-view. Okay. So the pay-per-view is only $4.99, but it's going to drop on Friday. It's called Too Young for 40. It's going to drop on Friday, July 4th. So I want everyone. All you got to do is go to this website right here, tgxlive.com/Quincy, and you can put your pre-orders in now. I need everybody's support. It's only $4.99. Even if you don't watch it, just click to support, because they are talking about buy black. Support black businesses. I'm a black business, so please support me as well, because that will help. As Alycia was talking about, you need that right platform, that right person to kind of propel you. So I need all my peeps to definitely go to that website, click on your pre-orders, and definitely on July the 24th, you check out my show. Okay, my comedy special, Too Young for 40. All right, now I'm getting ready to turn 44. I know it surprises a lot of people because I look young, but it's okay. I've been blessed. Okay, but yes, Too Young for 40 is hilarious. So let's get back into the show with Alycia. Hey there, homegirl. Thank you there for allowing me to plug these sponsors. You know, brother, got to try to sell something, right?
Absolutely. That's the name of the game.
Absolutely. Now, real quick, the one thing I like to do coming back from commercial break is do a thing called quick fire. It's a quick fire question round. Okay, feel free to answer these any way you want to answer. I know you haven't heard these questions yet, so hopefully you're not too surprised. All right. So first round of first quick fire round question is: a man who can dress himself or not. Which one do you prefer, and why?
To dress himself.
Dress himself.
First of all, I'm very busy, so I don't know where I'm getting all this time to be dressing you. I'm still trying to dress me. Plus, I like somebody who already has a sense of style.
Right.
So, and that's what attracts you to the person. Like, how did I get attracted to you if you couldn't dress? You know what I'm saying? You walking around looking like Bonnie Fife or something crazy, built up under your tits or something. Like, that's not attractive. So it's like that attracted me to you in the first place. So, how they say what you use to get them, you keep doing it to keep them. So if you were fresh and looking good when we met, go ahead and keep that up, player.
Okay. All right. So there you have it from Alycia. She like her men dressed. Second quick fire question. This is tough. Trump or Kanye in 2020?
Those two fools are neck and neck. I don't trust either one of them.
Oh my gosh.
One is
Yeah.
crazy and the other one is bananas. So you got a choice between, hey Johnny, my cousin on here, my cousin watching. You got a choice
Hey.
between crazy or bananas. Those are your
Yeah.
two options. You know,
Okay.
both of them need medication. See, let me tell you why Donald Trump won't put a mask on. Because he got on all that orange bronzer and stuff. He don't want the mask to pull it off. And then he's sitting there looking like Kabuki theater. You know, so he don't want y'all to know that he got all this makeup in that mask because you know good and daggone well somebody gonna take a picture of that mask and that makeup on. It's gonna go viral. We're gonna be laughing. And so
Oh,
that's
my
why he
God.
won't put a mask on. He don't want that makeup yanked off.
Yeah, you know, and Kanye is going around doing these pop-up churches and stuff, but now he's talking about running, but you know, he ain't even really put in his paperwork, I don't think. So, you know, anybody getting excited about him running, it's like you don't understand how the presidency, how all that stuff works.
But it just broke that he got umpteen millions of dollars from Donald Trump. Did you read that the other day? Like his organization or something. Donald Trump gave that man a ton of millions. See, when you see somebody black stumping for Trump, it's a check involved.
Oh yeah.
Whether that's Omarosa, Candace Owens, them jackleg preachers, they all getting checked. Diamond and Silk, they got $48 each. They all getting checked. So I knew Kanye was getting some money, but now it's out in the forefront that Trump gave $1 million. So I believe that if he does put his name in the hat, it's because he's trying to split up the black vote and make sure that Joe Biden don't win.
Right,
So,
right. And that's the whole, I mean, like, that's the long and the short of it. Like, you know, black folks, we understand the game. Like, anybody that don't understand the game is the one talking about, yeah, this is a possibility. No, you have to understand the game. They understand how powerful the black vote is, period. If the black vote is that powerful, there is nowhere in the world they're going to let it just slide on through. So they're going to create, and I say they because they know who they are, and it's the powers that be. They're going to create these different avenues to try to break things up, and it's like we are much smarter than they give us credit for. So,
but but you know what? But the sad thing about it is that this country has a lot of mentally ill people that's being neglected, and for some reason they make it to the polls before the same people, and that's how you get a Donald Trump in office. This ain't by happenstance. There's a whole lot going on right now. The mentally ill running this thing.
Oh, absolutely, and they running it hard. You know, and speaking of running it hard, the last quick fire question, okay? The weather. Do you like it hot or do you like it cold, and why?
You know what? I don't love the cold at all. You know, I remember I went to this middle school and this they bused us to this white part of Maryland. And we were doing stuff like skiing and ice hockey and we were on the ice skating rink. You should have saw us little black kids are trying to ice get on that ice in them rinks. Oh, it was a sad sight. We was all on our butt just hollering. We in the 7th, 8th grade. Then we going skiing. I mean, I'm got my sticks in the snow, and I'm like, what in the what? Get me back to my room. The white kids was woted, like it was their thing. That snow, Europe go together. We Africa. You see what I'm saying? So we hot, we like heat. You know, so I'm heat all day long. I'd rather be too hot than too cold any day.
Nice. Hey, what's going on, Lonnie Terry, and everybody else that's checking in? I forgot to shout out Tanya Gregory. No, I think I did. It was Chuck Miller. I didn't shout out. You know, LaTonya Monique, Max Bird, all these individuals. Thank y'all for tuning in, and thank y'all for leaving comments. If you got a question for Alycia that you would like her to answer, ask any question, and we'll pop it up in here, and we'll see if Alycia can answer it. Okay, so we went through this quick fire round here. We got probably about maybe 15 more minutes in the broadcast, but give me your opinion. I know it's tough, and I know that we are as Black people in America, as well as Black men in particular, we're dealing with, or we've been dealing with it for generations, right? And it seems to have, we hope it's come to a bubble to where it can probably pop and everything starts to get resolved. Do you have any brothers or, you know, any male cousins that you worry about?
My male cousin Johnny is watching right now, and I worry about him. You know, our family is so female heavy though. We got a bunch of women in the family. We only got a couple males in the family. My father's 73, so I hope they don't mess with my father. Plus, my father keeps a gun in the glove compartment, so you might want to go head on and pass up my daddy. But the younger family members that are male, I definitely worry about them because they're good guys. They don't start trouble, but you don't have to start trouble for trouble to find you. You know, we've seen too many times where you're sitting there, and when people go, "Oh, they should have complied," they don't realize all the times that people did comply and still got their behind whooped. What makes me mad is I watched the documentary called Emmanuel about the mother Emmanuel, the people that got killed in church by Dylan Roof. And when they found Dylan Roof, they apprehended him so gently.
Cheeseburger.
You know, they took him to Burger King, but even before that, they knew that this man had just murdered 9 black people in a historic church, and they took him out of there. First of all, the first thing they would have done to us is yanked us out of that car, and we'd have hit the daggone ground. Because they'd been like, "We don't know what else you got on you. You're crazy enough to just have killed 9 people. We got to protect ourselves. We're going to have lumps, knots all up on our head, regardless of how they found us." So Dylan get apprehended without even a nick on his chin. That I'm telling you, this stuff is state sponsored. There's no way in the world you're gonna have a mass murderer get apprehended nicer than somebody who had a busted tail light.
Just the other day, or just the other week, I posted a video. I posted a video showing this young white guy that was being dealt with by this policeman. You clearly saw the police lights were on behind his car, and the video just picks up. Hey, shout out to Jerome Collins. Hey, thank you, my man. I appreciate you tuning in. Apparently, he had been pulled over, and long story short, the police officer says, "Get on the ground." He gets on the ground and he pops up immediately. So that pop up, hey, I see you checking in from Smithville, Virginia. Thank you, Jerome. So that pop up immediately, I know if that was us, that would be it. So he pops up and he says, "No, I'm walking to my car." And the officer's like, "No, no, no." So he gets in his car. The officer tries to close the door. The guy pushes him away. The officer pulls out, which I'm thinking I'm about to see a person get shot. He tases him. The guy hits the tase, pulls it off, screams at the cop, "Ah!" And he chases the cop, and the cop drops the taser and runs. And this whole thing ended with the guy jumps in the cop car, and the cop didn't shoot at the car. He didn't shoot at the tire. He didn't shoot at the window. Then the guy gets back in his car. He backs up, almost hits the car. Like I'm taking this thing as long as it was just unnecessary, right? That we have complaints about doing the minimal, yet this guy was given the reprieve to just do everything. He still didn't end up killed, and I'm sure he was kindly apprehended. But then when, like, I posted about it, and somebody found a need to post other pictures of other black men that have killed or shot cops, and that person made it to court. And I'm like, what's the need for you to combat that? And it's like people will do that, and that's the frustrating part. And it's like, just hear our plight.
Right. And let me tell you, any brother who shot a cop and made it to court, came up to that court lumped up. They done had their eyes busted. They looked like they done been in battle. They didn't come to court looking clean like Dylan Roof. We done they had one dude in a Silence of the Lambs mask. They beat him so bad. And I mean, I was like, because he had shot a cop. They got him.
They don't play.
He had blood coming through the holes in the Silence of the Lambs. They got him. Christopher Dorner. Remember, they burned his whole cabin up. Remember Christopher Dorner? So no. It's always gonna be 20 times more exacerbated when we do it. The sentences are longer, the punishments are harsher. It's always some extra when it's us. And just like Lonnie said, he said this is the issue. People don't want to be educated, and that's the absolute truth. And I tell anybody, if you get a chance, if you got Netflix, or if you like me, borrowing somebody else's Netflix account and I hope they don't change the password again, go check out. I think it's Ava DuVernay. She produced the 13th
It's about the 13th Amendment. Go watch that. And it's nothing fabricated about facts, about what has been going on since the beginning of time, dealing with the prison systems and all that. So that's what I encourage anybody.
Even the documentary, When They See Us, what they did to children will let you know they don't have no regard for adults.
Yep. Which ties into a current president 45, because back then I think he put out an ad to arrest all those boys. Like you knew that they had nothing to do with it. And even the prosecutor, or the person that put up all those false charges, she felt like she was being attacked when the truth came out, that everybody was like, oh my gosh, you're a bad person. We're going to stop all this money that you've been making all these years and stop funding you. So it's just a lot of stuff out there. So, but I always like to get your opinion. I always like to get the opinion of the other comics regarding the temperature of the country right now, because I know there's something that we deal with. Then we transition that to our work, to the stage and all that stuff. So let's get into this film, like this film life that you're navigating through very nicely. Now, you wrote and directed your first film, and I remember because I was able to be in the credits as a contributor. You know, I feel honored, Alycia, that you gave me the opportunity to help fund, because that's what it's about. Black people doing something. You see somebody trying to do something. You didn't come out begging. You just said, hey, I'd like to have your support. It has different tiers, so however you would like to support, and that made me feel good, whether I got a credit mention or not. That made me feel good.
Right. Well, I definitely want to give you a credit mention, because people dollars hard to come by. So if anybody, I don't care if it's $5, that was $5 that they could have kept. So anybody who's gracious enough, how you doing, Donna? Gracious enough to contribute to what I'm trying to do, I'm very appreciative, and that was just my way of saying thank you, because I wanted to acknowledge you doing something you absolutely did not have to do. So I really appreciate it. And it's just that I decided a while ago that I wanted to transition into something else, and I wanted to transition into writing, directing, and producing my own films. Now, to get a break, you start out with short films. The only problem with a short film is you only have a few speaking parts. That's just the nature of a short film. So what I want to do is I want to get to the point where I can direct my feature, which, as you know, with the feature, there's a ton of roles. So, and I want to employ Black people and employ people who have been on the margins for whatever reason, and, just do some very good work, do some stuff that hasn't been done before. And, just when Tyler Perry first came out, people were talking bad about him. His movies are ignorant and chitlin and this, that, the other. This man had built a $250 million studio because he said he was talking to a market of people that had been neglected by Hollywood.
Yeah.
The church-going crowd.
Yeah.
And he found his niche, and look at him now. So the thing, that's with anything. With stand-up, everybody's not going to like you. Find your little cluster of people that do and rock with them. When you become a filmmaker, everybody's not going to like your brand of filmmaking. Find your little cluster that likes it and roll with them. But just stay true to yourself. He stayed true to himself.
Absolutely, and I believe that you've done the same thing. Now, what's the title of this of your first one? Because I know that we got a clip.
It's called Trade.
It's called Trade. Okay, gotcha. So tell our viewers what the movie is about.
The movie is about, it's basically, I would say, Brokeback Mountain meets Fatal Attraction. So these two guys share a cell. And, over time, they, become friendly. One of them is a career criminal who's, may never get out. And the other one is a married corporate guy who, made a bad decision and ended up in jail. And, one night, one thing led to another, and, a line was crossed. But then the married guy got out, and he was like, peace, see ya. You in here for a long time, I'm out. But the career criminal gets out of the technicality, and that's when everything gets ramped up.
Yeah, now that's a good writer. That's a good writer, because I'm telling you, when I looked at that trailer, that is not what I saw. I thought dude was mad because dude's girl, while he was locked up, was with some other dude that he knew.
Yeah,
and he was like, yo, that's my girl.
I knew that's what you thought.
Whoa, yeah, that's a good premise. And like, where can people find that and see that?
Well, right now it's on an app called Urban Flix, URBANFLIX, and
Mhm.
Urban Flix has a free 7-day trial. So
Okay.
you can get on Urban Flix, the app, and watch it for free. It's only 30 minutes. You don't need 7 days to watch a 30-minute short. And and then cancel it. Whatever you want to do, but you can definitely see it. You can definitely see it there.
Yeah. Good. And when was that released?
That was released. I started putting it in festivals last year.
Okay.
So it ended up in a few festivals starting last October. But Urban Flix just came out. The app just came out in like May.
In May. Okay. Cool. Well, I think that's awesome for people to just get a chance to support, because you in and of itself, you are funny. And the one thing that I know that I love about comedians like you is the industry makes you all look like you have to talk about one specific subject to be put on. Okay. There's no need to delve how deep that is. But you can talk about topical things, political things that's happening in your life. Like, you have such a wide range, and I know that that's going to translate as a movie director, writer, and producer. So, I mean, as far as these projects, do you have any other new projects that's coming out?
Yes, I'm actually July 19th. I'm shooting my next short. This is only going to be 15 minutes. I learned a lot this last time. And what I learned last time is if you want to get into a lot of festivals, try to keep your film to between 15 minutes and 20 minutes. So yeah, because the way they program these festivals, they would rather get more in. They rather get 3 15-minute shorts in than 2 shorts. You know what I'm saying? Or they rather get 6 10-minute shorts in than 2 30-minute shorts. So it's all about how they program these festivals. So I learned less is more. And this time it's going to be 15 minutes. And this is called Just Us. It's a play on the word justice. And it's very timely now because I wrote it early this year. And we were supposed to shoot it the next week, but COVID hit and shut down California.
Gotcha.
So, and I'm actually glad I had more time to prep and, get some stuff done. And yeah, I think it's going to work out even better that I had to.
I got you. Yeah, and it's like I said. I mean, stories like that need to be told through the eyes of people that have a passion for putting out facts. Okay, it's just going to just keep it 100 on that one. Just putting out facts and not being afraid to tell the real story. The ones that do, as I hashtag them, eye rollers. Why do we keep bringing it up? Why does it keep happening? Because it never stopped. It never stopped happening. So
we'll start bringing it up when it stops happening.
Hey, I mean, that's really the long and short of it. So people can definitely look out for you on there. A couple of quick questions, like right before we get up out of here. And I always ask these to comics. At a point, like as a veteran comic, do you feel like, well, let me make sure I say it right, that you get frustrated after all you've accomplished, all the things you've done, all the no's, all the yeses, yet you see somebody else who may have done less get past you? Do you get frustrated if if at all?
Oh, yeah. We talk about it amongst ourselves, what the frustrations are. And it's we very much so get frustrated. We see people have as talented getting twice as far. It's frustrating, and there's so many reasons for that. Some people are having sex with people, and how, if you're not doing that, how do you compete? Some people are related to people, some people, for whatever reason they've been in the right place at the right time. Everybody's road is going to be a little different, and it's very frustrating. But what I always tell people is, I remember this quote that Joan Rivers had. And they asked Joan Rivers, they said, how many of your friends that started out in this business with you actually made it? And her response was, all of them that stuck with it. So I get frustrated, I leave and I come back, but I always remember that quote. If you take yourself out of the game, you're never gonna get what you were going for. So, You know, I'm not gonna ever completely leave the game, but I'm just gonna hit it from a different angle.
Absolutely. Well, that's the most important thing too, Alycia, is just always being prepared to evolve. It's the same thing that I've been telling a few other folks because they said, you know, like, so what have you been doing during this downtime? And I said, it didn't take long. I mean, I do 2 separate TV shows, but that doesn't, you know, keep my mind going comedy wise, because that's like TV type stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to create this particular platform for me to just clear my head. And what better way to clear my head than to talk to my peers in the business and you know, listen to y'all, you know, okay, so it's not just me feeling the same way. So my thing was, okay, let's see what happens off of this opportunity, right? I created my own type of virtual show. And you never know. I mean, everybody is sitting at home. Somebody could come across one of these mini shows that I've done and say, hey, when we're able to open back up, I like that idea. I want to talk to this guy about coming to a studio and shooting that show in the studio. So, you know, if, you know, the same thing that Barry Brewer said last week, same thing Ron G said, it's like, you cannot just sit on this opportunity to reconnect.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's exactly what COVID is an opportunity to reconnect and an opportunity to think about evolving, because we'll come out of it. Don't know when, right?
Right. Absolutely.
But if you hoping we come out of it and it's exactly the same, so you're going to wait to do anything, no, you're going to be so far behind because people are moving forward. So,
and this was a time we had nothing to do but think about our next steps. Like, I done seen everything on Netflix, everything on Hulu. I done seen every YouTube video ever produced. You know, we had nothing but time. You know, and in that time, what we all should have done was planned our next moves. What is it that we really wanted to do, but we never had the time to do because we've been running and gunning? You know, so if you didn't capitalize on this time and think of something, a business opportunity, something, I don't know what to tell you, because this, you know, we're never gonna get it again.
It's that. Well, you know, because some states are closing right back up because they thought that they could just open up. So we may get it again, because I know it's gonna be another wave that's coming, because ain't nobody listening. You know, listening to the president say that I don't need to wear a mask. But I digress. So one of my last questions that I always like to ask. What did or what do you wish for your career and how it turns out? And if that's not clear, you know, like when you started out, were you thinking to yourself, this is where I want to end up? Or did you not even think that far? But do you think about that now? Like, do you have any of those?
Yeah, when I first started, I didn't have an agenda. You know, like I said, I never thought that I would do this full time, and just circumstances changed and I ended up doing it full time. But what I would like is I would like an hour special. I would like a Netflix special or an HBO special. It seems like the girls that get HBO specials are on HBO shows. So, so I would like to be on an HBO show so that I can get an HBO special, or I would like a Netflix special. I would definitely like that. You know, because I would love at least one hour-long special, you know, before I throw in the towel. That was a goal of mine. I would like a special.
Absolutely. Well, we got your information right here where people can go support your movie, your short. I know it's a short film, right? Your short film trade on urbanflixtv.com. Before we get out of here, can you tell the viewers where they can find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Alycia Cooper 2. That's I think you can see how to spell my name on here, right? Alycia Cooper and the number 2. You can find me on Twitter at Alycia Cooper, and Facebook. I have a fan page. You just type in Alycia Cooper fan page. YouTube, if you can subscribe to Alycia Cooper, hit that notification bell, that'd be great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And before we get out of here, just so you can hear this trivia question, this is for Quarantine Cast, for all of you who stuck with me and stuck on the show. So my trivia question is, what top female comedian is responsible for telling Miss Alycia Cooper if she's going to do comedy, she has to stay clean, don't go dirty? Which popular female comedian is the one that gave Alycia Cooper that advice. The first person to comment with that answer will get $25 to your Cash App or your PayPal, however you prefer. So it's contactless. So hold up, and while we're waiting to answer that question, Jerome Collins said, put that in your universe, Alycia, and you will get it tenfold. Somebody's a believer of the Jesus.
Thank you, Jerome.
Yeah. So the first person, if you remember when Alycia, this was in the beginning of the interview, almost 50 something minutes ago, I asked her a question, and I asked her about staying clean in comedy, and she said it was a female comedian, a top female comedian. It's a hint. It's a black female comedian. She mentioned a few in this program, but it was a specific black female comedian that gave her the advice to not write dirty, write clean, because you can always go dirty. The first person that answers that will get $25 to your Cash App. Just also include your Cash App in the actual comment. Okay. Hey, Donna says, I missed the beginning. Well, guess what, Donna? Either you have to try to rewind, which I don't think you can rewind a live post, or you better put out some feelers and see who was listening.
Donna, take a guess.
Hold up. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. My brother was trying to put it up. So he said, Wanda Sykes. No, it's not Wanda Sykes. Does anybody else have a guess? So before Alycia goes, look, I just want to tell you, sister, thank you so much just for doing what you've been doing in the comedy game. I see your work. I see your work ethic. I see the things that you've been doing. And it's something that just makes me proud just to see another person, let alone another black woman doing things. Because I have a daughter, and I'm teaching her, no matter what, you don't let anybody tell you who you are. You go out and you make you, and you be you better than anybody else can try to be you.
Absolutely. And you told her right. Oh, Jerome said, Monique, good try, Jerome.
No, it's not Monique. So it's not that many sisters. Well, I mean, it's a bunch of them out there, but hopefully y'all can guess.
They really guessing now.
Yeah. Just keep throwing your guesses out there, because right now y'all the only ones that care to guess. So y'all, I mean, whoever wants that $25, but before this live is done, so it has to be guessed correctly before this live is done. Otherwise, I'll roll that money over into next week. So, and we haven't had to do this in like 4 weeks. So yeah. So thank you so much, Alycia. Again, I appreciate you taking the time out there in LA. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. No, we certainly appreciate everything that you're doing. And so you continue to make us laugh. And like I said, people can listen out for you on XM Radio. You got 6 albums out there, so they could definitely hear you. And when you come back home, I got to get you on the Quality Comedy series too.
Absolutely. I'm going to be home around Thanksgiving. Yes, I'm coming home around Thanksgiving. Oh, Letitia said it. Letitia got it.
Letitia got it. Cheryl Underwood is the answer. Everybody, Hope Shepherd, Queen Latifah. Go ahead, Travis. Travis will say, Queen Latifah. Go ahead, bro.
All right. Money. She got it.
Yes. Well, thank you very much, Mrs. George.
I'll be home around Thanksgiving, Quincy, if you're doing a show.
Okay, got you. Well, thank you so much again, Alycia. You take care, and we will catch you the next time, all right?
All right, have a good rest of your night.
All right, you do the same.
Bye-bye.
All right, so everybody, congratulations. Everybody shout congratulations to Letitia Farrell George. She is the winner of $25. Please put in your Cash App unless you just want to send it to my direct message. If you don't want everybody to know your Cash App, I certainly understand. Send it to my direct message inbox and I will respond back to you. But congratulations to you. However you want to get paid. If you don't want it, you want to roll it over to next week, I can do that as well. But just either comment here or just send me a direct message, okay? Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And like I said, if anybody is interested in my products, a couple of things. I got my T-shirts here, okay? They say buy black. So I'm trying to be the black business that's selling too, but I have a positive message. I strive to be perfect, but end up being human. Okay, that's what that is. So I strive to be perfect, but end up being human. If you guys want that, or if you're interested in the shirt, just put it in the comments and we will reach out to you to get you the details on how to get the shirt. And if you buy a shirt, you get a wristband that has the same message and it'll be free. It has the same exact message on here. You can't wear the shirt every day, but you can wear this every day. So my goal is just to spread positivity to every audience that I'm in front of. So if you're with that, support me and I can get you this information to help spread positivity across the world. Outside of that, again, don't forget, I do this every Tuesday or once a week. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with another hot, funny guest. And yeah, it's about quality comedy. All fun, no filth, just have some fun. And remember, people, states are closing back up. I don't care what phase y'all are in, just stay safe, stay inside so we can keep staying together. All right, cool. Well, I am out. Oh, don't forget about my stand-up comedy special. All right. July the 24th, Friday. It's going to be on TGX Live. So go there, TGX Live / Quincy Carr. Okay. Or / Quincy. All right. And you'll be able to pre-order my comedy special. It's only $4.99 to stream it for 48 hours. Support a brother. Trying to do everything I can to keep working. Thank you guys again. And I am out.
Daddy Chuck jumps.